Those of you following the campaign, you're fully aware that we have been looking at Daniel Cahill giving a statement where he's been coerced and coached by the Gardaí taking his statement. And then we went into some detail where we showed clearly that Daniel Cahill was telling a tissue of lies in his testimony to the Irish courts from the Homeland Security Office in New York via video link. And I think it's always prudent to remind people that that act in itself was breaching Aaron's human rights, and anyone's given right in a court of law where you're entitled to face your accuser. Notwithstanding that, we've shown just in that small sections we're looking at that Daniel Cahill was a complete and total liar. We will be moving on to the incident we've mentioned on numerous occasions, the machete attack, and we will be taking Daniel Cahill's testimony directly to you, the Irish public, and we will break that down. But I think it's always good to go back and remind everyone of the people in the whole, in the complete round, that these people here, Brendan Grehan, Lorcan, these are the barristers for the prosecution, along with Pat Murray and Mark Phillips, the two senior investigating officers. So just want to give you, the Irish public, a quick reminder of the quality of the people they brought forward to give evidence against Aaron. And everyone watching this is fully aware that through the Irish media, these people allegedly who came forward, we know from Pat Murray that he didn't even know who came forward, and we have proven nobody came forward of their own free will with the truth. Nobody. So we're just going to very quickly have a look at those other people involved along with Daniel Cahill and Daniel Cahill. So very quick, just going to have a look at this man here, Ronan Flynn. And we've gone through Ronan's case in some detail and how he has told us how he was coerced and told he would never see his wife and child again if he didn't give a statement against Aaron Brady. And he told us that the statement was written by the guards. And no one has come back to contradict any of those assertions we have made. And we have listened to telephone recordings of conversations I've had with Ronan Flynn. And again, as we continue to unfold and unravel Aaron's story, we've always mentioned in relation to the American aspect of the case, this man here, Homeland Security agent Matt Katsky. And he's involved in all these incidents. We're just going to revise now very, very quickly. And Ronan Flynn sent this text message to his cousin, and there you have it. That Matt fella is a wanker. He took my file. We looked stupid going to the plaza, and they told us Homeland Security took it because of an ongoing case. Ruined my legal status because I wouldn't help them. It's about to expire because they took my 10-year interview paper. Now, there's a whole lot of, that's a whole myriad in itself, just that one text message. And we've gone through numerous text messages which proved that Ronan's sister, it appears, got a 10-year visa. Ronan was allowed to stay in New York even after that text message was sent. I will have to check the date on that text message, but I will be able to do that, and I will bring it to you. But Ronan stayed for a number of years after that text message was sent. So we have Matt Katsky, Homeland Security agent, along with the other four people I mentioned earlier, Staines, Grehan, Phillips and Murray, all heavily involved in framing our son Aaron. So that's Ronan Flynn. Then we have a very quick look here at the other players involved in this, the other people involved. I'm just going to have a quick listen to Anthony Gerard Maguire, another man who gave a statement against Aaron. And this is another little bit of statement. You have his statement read back. You probably haven't heard. But like everything else in Aaron's case, one jigsaw piece leads to the next. and we can show how on Garda Síochána we're building a false case and false statements against Aaron. So let's have a listen to this drug dealer, Anthony Maguire.
The barman was Irish, black hair, very muscly with tattoos. I don't know his name. I ordered a glass of water while I was waiting. I saw a fellow to my left, nearly touching shoulder distance away. He was wearing an Ireland green soccer jersey, no collars on it. He was a blocky fella. He had dark hair combed forward with a cow's lick at the front. He had no beard, pale complexion. He was in the company of about 3 others. There was one really tall fellow with him. He was skinny, loud laugh. He was kind of goofy. By that I mean he was the one doing all the silly giggling. He wore a lot of rings on his right hand. They were rings made of coins. I can't say what colour. I can't describe him better. I don't know his name. The second fellow was ginger, short hair with a skinny face, taller than me. Might have been wearing green, a little unshaven. I can't describe the third fellow. I wasn't staring at these guys. The ginger fella was standing the closest to the blocky fella in the Ireland jersey. These guys were having a conversation, the blocky fella and the ginger fella, but the other two were in on the conversation. The nature of the conversation was, do you think you have what it takes to kill a man? The blocky man in the green jersey said those exact words. The other 3 of his friends were saying, I don't.
Each and every clip we show from all these interviews, or in this instance where Detective Mark Phillips is reading back the statement of Anthony Gerard Maguire. And you can see there, the barman was Irish, dark hair, very muscly, with tattoos. And as I put up on the screen there, is it possible that he's talking with Daniel Cahill? Of course it is, he's talking with Daniel Cahill. And they're doing this to try and link incidents together that they can put together later on if they're allowed to do so, not questioned. And the criminality and the criminal record of these scumbags wasn't, although we didn't bring it to the surface, it was bubbling underneath, and they knew that we had found out about Maguire and Morton being run out of town down here in Mike and Newry, and they knew that we knew that Daniel Cahill had been run out of Dublin and stabbed. So they couldn't put them together the way they would have wanted to. And I'm talking about the Irish authorities, the Garda Síochána, DPP, Brendan Grehan and Lorcan would have put all these stories together and try and link the incidents or the events that they made up only for the investigation, and they knew we were looking into the skullduggery and the illegal activities of them. And again, you hear there where Maguire has told in a statement that there's 4 fellas there, a blocky fella, a tall fella. Now, under any circumstances, now this bastard here, Anthony Gerard Maguire, told us that he was sitting for 20 minutes or a half an hour waiting for the check. So these 4 fellas were beside him for a protracted period of time. Guess what Mark Phillips and Jim McGovern don't do? Now, we've covered this before. They don't ask what height was he. What happens, we're going to go into another clip now in a minute, and you'll see the exact same thing. There's no description or height description of the fella that Maguire later found Aaron a picture of him in his friend's Conor Hughes' Facebook of Aaron playing under 14 football in a team photograph. And so now we've shown you Ronan Flynn, drug dealer, left Ireland, allowed to stay in America. Anthony Gerard Maguire, now there's it there, we've shown this multiple times. He was caught with cocaine, ammunition, marijuana and cash. And he was allowed to stay in America. And we know he was caught because he was extradited back to Ireland and then allowed back into America. Absolutely unbelievable. And of course, we better go and have a little look at his scumbag first cousin, Christopher Morton. Now, this little clip we're going to see here is of Christopher Morton. We've just watched Anthony Gerard Maguire. They're first cousins. They told each other, they told in their statements on Garda Síochána, they never told anyone about these revelations. You must remember this, and they say in their statements, we have it, we never told anyone, kept it to ourselves, and yet, in the last video with Daniel Cahill, Daniel Cahill told us he discussed Aaron Brady being the man who shot the guard in Ireland with who? Anthony Maguire. So, do you see, as we continue to keep digging, we will continually show how the whole thing is a complete tissue of lies. And that's only taken 30 seconds clips from 2 or 3 videos, and we could speak for an hour over it. Because there's that many holes in it. It's so false. It's so fake, such a fake narrative created by these people here and orchestrated mainly by this man here. Pat Marry was a senior investigating officer, but he hasn't the brains. If brains was gunpowder, he wouldn't have enough to blow his hat off. This is where NCBI, this is where the framing started and finished. They put Marry up in front just as a sort of a figurehead to take some of the heat, and they were orchestrating the framing in behind. And Marry should know that, but again, gunpowder, brains, not enough to blow the hat off. Right, so don't want to digress in with these bastards here. So we're going to look now. We've looked at Ronan Flynn, we've looked at Anthony Gerard Maguire, and now we're going to look at this scumbag here, Christopher Morton.
So having read this article, do you think something?
Yeah, I haven't read it. So this is the article I read on Facebook.
Yeah,
And in it was
supposed to be Anton. Anton had posted on his Facebook, but he was the Sinn Féin councillor interviewed about it, and I had read it.
Very short clip there. Again, that's a little piece you have the public haven't seen before, but we will be delving that in the coming weeks. This is where this scumbag here, Christopher Morton, attempts to use Sinn Féin councillor Anton Waters as some sort of a reference point to tell his lies. Now, we've proven beyond any doubt that this man here is a dirty, rotten scumbag liar, and we do believe he was actively trying to recruit people to give false statements and tell lies against Aaron in order to get part of or $100,000 and including green cards and 10-year visas. Now that's what this scumbag Christopher Morton got up to. Remember, he's the first cousin of Anthony Gerard Maguire, the last scumbag we dealt with. And they never told each other. And of course, we have to mention Sinn Féin here because we will be lobbying Sinn Féin, continue to lobby Sinn Féin. They've completely blanked us. We've simply asked for clarification of there is some more detail that Christopher Morton gives in relation to his close friendship, alleged close friendship with Anton Waters. Now, as far as we're concerned, people who Anton Waters knows with balaclavas went to Christopher Morton and threw him out of Newry. Now, we stand to be corrected on that, but we've put that synopsis forward on a number of occasions, and we've put that forward to Sinn Féin, and we've had no rebuttal as yet. And it's very simple. As we've always said, Sinn Féin's silence is perpetuating and sanctioning the framing of our son, Aaron. All Sinn Féin have to do is come forward and say, Anton Waters, give this information in good faith. And as far as Anton is concerned, all the information given by Christopher Morton in his statement is factually true. But we have the FAI records and we know it's not factually true. Now, we just very quickly, we're going to go back to Cahill again. And again, another little bit of Cahill's interview that you won't have seen before. But you can see where they're trying to link these liar, scumbag, drug-dealing bastards, their statements, how to try to link them together. And you can see where Paul Gill now, in this clip with Daniel Cahill, is talking about changing checks. And what was our good friend Anthony Maguire doing, standing in the coachman's pub with the muscly Irish barman? He was changing the check. So let's have a listen to Paul Gill again with his little chat with his mate, drug dealing Daniel Cahill.
So what happened was Kirby has a license to cash checks. So in the bar we would cash checks, and Kirby would go away. He goes on vacation, and he would go away for a couple of weeks, and the checks would build up, and I would still have to deposit the checks, obviously, to bring back money to get checks. Right. So that's what it was.
So it's basically how does the process work? So someone goes in with a check, or what happens? So you're working the bar, I go in with a check, what happens? You can't, is it like the old school, you give out the cash for it, or what happens?
You just get the check.
Okay, cash. So it's as simple as that?
Yeah, you just
Just wasn't sure, was it a different word that you're using over here in America, or what was it? It's just as simple as the old school process in Ireland.
So I hope you can see what they're trying to do there. Cahill's telling us that to take the checks into the bar, they have to be cashed, and then he's given us some story about obviously running the business, the checks have to be cashed. And here's Paul Gill again, the shotgun man, shotgun detective, is asking Cahill about how checks are cashed. Now, under any circumstances, he's interviewing Cahill about alleged confessions about the mother of his colleague and alleged friend, Adrian Donoghue. What or where was he going talking about how his checks cashed? So hopefully you can see where they're trying to entangle and weave all these scumbags here, the four scumbags that you see here before you, how they could weave their stories together. And as I say, we just take 30 seconds or a minute from 2 or 3 of the videos and you can see clearly the narrative. I will repeat once again, anything we're saying was incorrect, we would have been challenged already, either by the authorities or indeed, as you've seen in that clips we've shown you today, the short clips, Sinn Féin. And Anton Waters' part in this becomes more and more vital and serious as the weeks and months go on. And Aaron is incarcerated because there is no explanation as to why Sinn Féin couldn't contact us privately and say to the Brady family, well, we've investigated this, we've looked at this, and it would appear that the man who's friends with Anton Waters, Christopher Morton, was telling the truth. They can't do that. But what they should be doing is coming here and sitting here in our house. They're welcome anytime. Anton Waters, you're more than welcome. Come, I'll show you the video. I can actually show you the video of what he said about you. Now, we're going to go through it in a couple of weeks. We'll publish that anyway. And I'll go through all the paperwork we have and prove that he's telling lies. Plus, you can sit with our daughter, Lorraine, and she will tell you Aaron wasn't in the pub that night. She was in it, in the Tombstone Bar on Katona Avenue. And Christopher Morton, your friend, Anton Waters, is Sinn Féin's friend, is an absolute dirty, rotten liar. And the excuse that these people didn't come to court carries no weight. The fact that they existed, and anyone following Aaron's case and listening to the narrative will be fully aware that we are told of these wonderful people that came forward, and then the excuses were that they didn't come forward because they were intimidated. Christopher Morton was intimidated. He pulled out because he heard that his mate, Daniel Cahill, Dano, was put under severe scrutiny in the cross-examination. He sent a text that was read out in court. Gerard Maguire sent a letter via his lawyer that he was put under duress by an Garda Síochána, this man here. That man there put him under duress to give false statements. Ronan Flynn has told us, you will never see your wife and child again. The guards wrote my statement. So that's just a brief catch up, and I think it's important to put everything into context as we move along. As I say, we will be moving into Daniel Cahill's testimony, and we'll be putting that up for all to see, the testimony about the attack, the machete attack, and the protection order against Daniel Cahill. And it's so obvious when you read the transcript of the cross-examination that Cahill is lying through his teeth. So I hope that just starts to bring everything together. We must continue to do that and bring each piece. I will repeat once again, the jigsaw created by the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign, every piece fits perfectly. And none of it is the lies made up by this man here. That's their story, is a tissue of lies and perjury. So thank you once again for watching. We'll be back with Daniel Cahill and his machete attack, and we'll talk to you in the near future. Thank you. Please like, comment and share. We've been very heavily censored because this man here is somewhat unhappy about Daniel Cahill's lies being plastered all over the social media platforms. So please get Daniel Cahill out there and get Aaron's story out into the public domain and create pressure on the authorities to do the right thing. We want our son home. It's gone on too long now. When you have to deal with scumbags like this and work with this stuff day in, day out, it's very, very difficult. I hope people can appreciate that, to listen to this continuously, taking the little clips. Very hard for our family. Very, very hard. It must be stopped. Aaron must be freed. Thank you. I'll see you all again in the next video.